Welcome back. NVIDIA, the first chip maker to hit a market cap of $1 trillion. It's trading at all-time highs today, along with these names you see: Broadcom, onsemi, which have paired some gains, Applied Materials, AMD, Lam Research at 52-week highs of their own. Those big moves are fueling concerns about a bubble in the sector, but history suggests there could yet be more room to run. Deirdre Bosa joins us to explain in today's edition of Tech Check. Deirdre?
So, Kelly, I've showed you this chart before because I think it's a good one. And some people are looking at it as an analogy, perhaps, for this platform shift we're currently seeing. It's the shift to mobile internet. Semis, that yellow part of the chart, they were first to be recognized by the markets. They enabled and monetized the new technology. Infrastructure devices came next. Then the platforms themselves, think Google, mobile search, and Amazon. Back then, though, the semis were at the forefront, and they were names like Qualcomm and ARM. This time, it is undoubtedly NVIDIA. But what else could be here? Investors, they're looking forward to Broadcom earnings this week. Can it monetize its part in the AI hype cycle and talk up AI-related growth this year? Expectations are extremely high. Paired some gains today, but it's up some 25% or so since B of A called it the most underappreciated AI play about a week ago. Bernstein this morning, though, wrote, and this just relates to this huge surge in these AI names that we've seen this year. They said that if there was ever a year to consider the sell in May maxim, it might be this one. There's good reason to take money off the table, of course, after the run-up in those 7 stocks we've talked about that have led the broader market gains this year. But if generative AI is even more revolutionary than the mobile internet shift, going back to that first chart, which many smart people here believe it is, there could be more trillion-dollar companies to come. And, Kelly, it's interesting to look at the evolution of big tech. First, it was FANG with 4 letters. Then it was FANG with an extra A. Now it's what some are calling, what is it this morning? I think the Magnificent Seven, right? So instead of big tech giving up its leadership, there's only more entering that trillion-dollar club, more big tech becoming bigger, more names entering sort of this leadership.
Oh, I like that. So it kind of starts as the narrow fang and broadens out to ma, or ba, or whatever we want to call it.
I haven't thought of an acronym yet, but yes,
because we're
there's
past
like 7 letters.
No, I totally take your point that, you get to a certain, it's silly to try to, come up with just 4 letters and 4 stocks anymore. But what do you do when you're starting out with NVIDIA at a market cap of $1 trillion, right? Like, what's the next layers to rise feel like that's where the next money is to be made?
Right. And so, when we think about that chart, we think about the mobile internet shift. It was the chip makers first. And then you saw, Google and Apple and Microsoft and Amazon become trillion-dollar companies, right? They only got bigger and bigger. So if you think that, the shift, the generative AI shift is going to be as big or bigger, there could be more trillion-dollar companies to come. Or we could just see big tech continue to get bigger and bigger. But, there's more to come here, and the market recognizes that at different points. So, yes, it's the chip makers now. But what's going to be next? A lot of folks are talking about data analytics, Kelly. And it's really, this is the gold or the oil, whatever you want to call it, in this next shift. So you could look at companies like Databricks. CRM could be interesting tomorrow, Salesforce, right? Because they made that acquisition a while ago of Tableau. And that's just crunching data. But that's what a lot of people here in the Valley say, is that the models are going to be, and the data sets are going to be most important, because that's building these large language models.
That's a really interesting point. Deirdre, thank you. We appreciate it. Deirdre Bosa. We'll talk to my next guest about that. But also first, can the AI boom save commercial real estate? Wolf Research recently said the investment rush into artificial intelligence could lead to a surge in spending on data centers and even a flurry of office leasing in Silicon Valley. That could help stave off growing pressures on the sector. But are we putting too much on the emergence of AI as a major market force? Let's ask Sam Lessin, partner at Slow Ventures. Sam, it's good to see you again. And what do you think? Is it hype or justified? Go ahead.
Hype. It's pretty simple. I mean, look, the answer is everyone's excited about some of the opportunities around AI. They are real. I think this idea that the winners of last generation are going to win in AI again and compound their lead, I think, is basically correct. But this idea that commercial real estate is going to be somehow saved by AI, I think is a bridge too far for me. It sounds a little silly.
Well, maybe you can enlighten us. How bad is the sort of office activity? And we all know San Francisco, right? But in Silicon Valley, totally different story. What's the situation like there? And do you think that all of a sudden all these people going, well, I want to be the next NVIDIA or Databricks or whatever it is, are going to be, crowded into these offices working on executing that plan?
Look, I think the reality is that this is not a boom that is very conducive to startups. So sure, there's a bunch of VCs plowing a bunch of money in. There's a moment. There will be a lot of companies started. But the reality, especially when it comes to commercial real estate, what you really need to drive commercial real estate is companies that are growing unbelievably quickly, adding tons of people and are very successful as startups versus, and I think what you're going to see really is that this boom is really a boom that's going to be dominated almost completely by the incumbents. So I would not expect some sort of Silicon Valley, thousands of startups that are going to be super successful and grow to big headcounts and need tons of people to drive the commercial real estate story anytime soon.
It's a great point about kind of where we are in the cycle. But what about Deirdre's point? And maybe you can tell us, where do people think the next wave of successful, I'll use the word startups, or successful investment dollars will be going on top of AI? Is it kind of data analytics? And she mentioned Tableau and Databricks and companies like this. Talk to me about whether and where that path will lead.
Look, I think that the big thing people are missing about AI is that it really is just an accelerant or propellant to a lot of what's already there. So you can take Adobe and add AI, and it's a great story, right? You can take Meta and add AI, and it's a great story. You can take almost anything where there are products that all of a sudden with generative AI, you can make better, more efficient, create better consumer experiences. So it's not that this stuff won't permeate everything. It will, and it will be very powerful from that perspective. But it is interesting because I don't think that there are big themes to play, right? I think it's just good business and good startups that you can push in a lot of different ways. Now, in Silicon Valley, there's the special case of people who are specifically investing in deep tech or AI around it. Most of that stuff is going to go to zero. Some of it might be successful, but that's not going to be a big story. I think the big story is just going to be everything gets slightly better, right? And that slightly better can create improved margins. It can create new consumer experiences, et cetera. But I don't think there's some big thematic specific play like analytics that's completely revolutionized by this.
The one thing that does make sense to me, though, is data centers, because when NVIDIA comes out and raises its revenue, not to $8 billion as forked, not to 9, not to 10, but to 11, and all of a sudden is talking about data centers. I mean, and you go, we're going to be a nation of data centers and, self-storage. I mean, that's what is working in commercial real estate right now. And it does feel like there's going to be a huge data center growth in order to get that compute in one place.
There will be data center growth. And the big conversation really in AI right now is how much of AI will be done centrally in these big data centers versus migrate out to your phones, right, and be done locally. There'll be a little bit on the edge. There'll be like different, topologies of networks. So it will all evolve. And yeah, there will be investment in data centers. But again, I don't think it's going to be a massive revolution and step change versus, it will be growth, right? There will be new opportunities. And what I think you'll see is the big cloud providers, the Amazons, the Microsofts, they're going to dominate this, right? More than anyone else.
How bad would sentiment be in the Valley right now if it weren't for the AI boom, right? Wouldn't it? What would we have to talk about otherwise?
Well, there are things to talk about. I think that the thing that's interesting is, Silicon Valley and a lot of these things are thematically driven, right? And themes are great because everyone can talk about them and glom onto them and do their take on them. And if you want to move billions of dollars of LP capital, it's really easy to say, well, we're on the theme of blank right now. I think we probably are in a moment where this theme is overblown. People are putting too much money in too irresponsibly at too high valuations, at least in the startup world, into these things because it's easy, right? You're on theme. But the reality is, the beauty of technology and where we are is there's 1,000 interesting businesses to fund at every moment, right? They might not be the sexy theme, right, of the moment, but, when we're looking at small business opportunities and things like that, there are all sorts of platform opportunities and new things. You just have to be careful whenever the world is too excited about a theme, whether it's AI or blockchain or whatever, right? Your skepticism should go up.
No, very well said. Sam, thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Sam Lessin with Slow Ventures.